There is a saying in British English that says the following: it's better to prevent than to heal. Now, I say, in line with Christ, it's the best to anticipate. Don't you notice that there's no duality in that sentence? You have healing and prevention. One's preferred above the other. No, I say anticipation is the best. Because if you haven't noticed it yet, most people never anticipate anything. Let me repeat it one more time. Most people never anticipate anything. The only thing they do is they hold on to a routine. And it's only when there's a friction or disturbance of the routine that they begin to ask questions. And often, then it's way too late. That's how zombies operate, as mechanical constructs. But here's the thing, you're not a mechanical construct, and life is not mechanical. So, the best way for you to operate, or actually the right way for you to operate, is to anticipate things. And I'm not talking about anticipating danger here. Okay? Yes, you anticipate the fact that there will be tribulation in the world. Look, Christ said unto you, believer, in the world ye shall have tribulation. So it's good to anticipate that. But he said, be of good cheer. So I've overcome the world. So you should anticipate far more concerning the good cheer. You are of good cheer because you have victory. You are of good cheer because the best is yet to come. Yes. So anticipation doesn't only have to do with danger or bad stuff. I said that quite often. Anticipation also implies that you are ready anytime when the blessing appears. Okay, I'm going to give a parable unto you. It goes like this. There was this Japanese guy who was a trader. Japan owned its borders to the rest of the world. So he had a cousin who was a soldier in the Japanese troops. And the guy told him, it's the year 1895 now. Soon, within 2 years, there's a fleet coming from South America. And you can import a lot of stuff if you want, cheaply. And you can resell them here in Japan. And you can resell them also to Korea because there's a demand for goods from South America and Korea at the moment, at least amongst the rich. So this guy, who, let's call him Taro heard this news, and Taro rejoiced because he thought, when that fleet comes, man, I'm going to take advantage of it. But here's the thing, after 2 years the fleet arrived. It took 2 years because a lot of agreements had to be made between the Japanese authorities and the authorities of Chile and Peru, so the fleet arrived. But what happened? Taro was able to purchase many of the goods for a very cheap price, but he had no place to store them. He totally forgot about the fact that if you import something, you need to store them until you can resell them. So eventually he found an old farm, an abandoned farm of a former samurai lord who passed away, and he could store them over there. Nobody asked anything. But then he still had to resell them. And he had no trade relations with any of the fraternities throughout Japan. And he didn't even consider how to transport things to Korea because you need to have ships for that. And then he realized that 2 years ago, when he heard the news, he should have anticipated. He should have developed some trade relations, and he should have found a way to purchase 2 small ships, because there were shipyards that produce ships for a cheap price. Should have done that, because if he would have done all of that, then by now, when the goods arrived from South America, he would be ready to ship them to Busan. That was the main port of Korea at the time. Well, still is the main port today. Or he would have been able to simply resell them to others throughout Japan. But now he had, how would say, he had a huge surplus of goods from South America, but he was stuck with them. Now he had to spend money in maintaining them so that nobody would steal them on that farm. So the best thing for Taro was, the best thing for him, and the thing he should have done was anticipate the blessing, anticipate the increase. And that's why you ought to be renewed in your mind, to anticipate the abundance that you ought to operate in. Because it's in operating in that abundance that you overcome tribulation. But if you don't anticipate operating in the abundance, how can you overcome tribulation? You can't. So, have the mindset that the best is yet to come. Have that mindset every day. Have that expectation every day. Yes, there will be tribulation, but you'll overcome tribulation. And because you overcome tribulation, you know the best is yet to come. That's not wishful thinking, that's the reality. It was Christ, whose Lord, said it. And without you being aware of it, you begin to act on that expectation. And that's how you operate in the abundance, and indeed, you'll overcome tribulation. There will be times tribulation arrives, and you're not even aware of it. Tribulation comes, crashes, and disappears. And you don't even notice that something has crashed. The best is yet to come. Have that way of thinking. And if you agree to have this way of thinking, and suddenly you keep encountering people that suggest bad outcomes, then you know that those people are used by the enemy. Now look, people can point out something to you that may not be pleasant. Maybe you think about staying at a job for long, but then people tell you, well, that company is about to go bankrupt. Now, if that's a fact, that's a fact, okay? So that there are facts that are less pleasant, well, you face them. But your attitude is the best is yet to come. Anyone that seeks to undermine your optimistic, practical attitude, they need to go. Because such people, they want you in negativity so they can feel good about themselves. They don't want to face themselves. They don't. So they want you in the same darkness so they won't have to examine themselves. That's what it's all about. They'll frame you in negativity. And if that doesn't work, they'll begin to look for a fight for you openly, directly. To dump all their waste on you. They'll use gaslighting and witchcraft on you. I'm telling you. So, the best yet to come. Believe it.